One way to strengthen the family is to strengthen faith. I think that the principal force undergirding the family in society is faith. It's faith that validates the family. It's faith that teaches people the importance of putting others before self.
Well, we look at the international data. Women who worship God weekly are the most fertile women in the world, much more likely to have children than those who never worship, who only have about 1/3 the number of children on average.
It's faith that teaches children and adults of our responsibilities to society, our responsibilities to past generations, and our responsibilities to future generations, and our responsibility to a higher power. Long before the Ten Commandments, before the patriarchs and the prophets, God spoke to his unique creations, Adam and Eve, and said, "Go forth, multiply, replenish the earth." The first commandment was procreation.
I've often said, what's a bit of a mouthful, on every measure measured within the U.S. Federal Survey System for adults and children, they thrive most in the intact married family that worship God weekly. Okay, let's unpack that because it's a bit of a much. The U.S. Federal Survey System is a huge boon to all of mankind because it's the only country in the world where we have lots of surveys. We have 14 federal surveys that analyze both the family structure and the frequency of religious worship. And it's as a result of that we can see natural law playing out. Well, we're looking now at the combined scores of math and English for American children between grades 7 to 12. And this is one of the first pieces of data I saw of the impact of religious worship on education performance. And the first time I graphed it, I almost fell off my chair because it was one of the first impacts I'd seen in my history of the data really showing this. And here you see it. American kids, this is a picture of America, of American teenagers. Those who worship weekly are the ones who are doing best on average. A couple of times a month, a couple of times a year, never, just like that. The impact of this in education is phenomenal. It is the great unknown in education. It's the great suppressed data in education. Every teacher, every school principal, every college president, every secretary of education at the state level and at the federal level should be deeply imbued with this data. Think of an inner city welfare mother. Life is tough for her. The neighborhood isn't great. Schools are not that great. But if she brings her children, she and her children go to church each Sunday, the impact on her children are the same as if she had the capacity to move the whole family into a middle-class neighborhood, middle-class home, and going to one of those good middle-class schools where the parents and the education system are taken care of. That's the impact of her bringing her poor children to church each Sunday.